Hello, everybody. I'm looking in the wrong direction. I need to fix that. Hold up. Hi, Sabin. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome. My name is Mercy. There we go. I'm now tilted correctly. My name is Mercy. We are back here for episode 3 of Heroes of Tethra. Here, our live actual play D&D campaign set in 5th edition in the world of Tethra. 2 weeks ago was our last session because we do this every 2 weeks. Glad to have all of you back. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Hi, Raina. So let's go ahead and introduce the players once again, just to get everybody familiar with their voices very fast. From the top going down, we have Alan playing Cobalt the Kobold.
Don't worry, Cobalt's ready to go. He's got his soap.
Next up, we've got Joey Avalon playing Kaiser.
The one, the only.
Next up on our list, Tanuki XP playing Maka Paitu.
I'm so broke, I go to KFC to lick other people's fingers.
Oh my gosh, we're using that line again?
Yeah, why not?
And wrapping things up here, making us a full proper team, we have Bengali the Tiger Paladin playing Waking Dream.
Good evening. I hope you all are doing well.
Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well, just like I hope all of us are doing well, because things are about to change. So, let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of a recap. Last time on Heroes of Tethra, our adventurers now coming to a certain arrangement with one another and getting themselves out of a prison located in the city of Dyalt, snuck around the outskirts of the town of Dyalt, trying to maintain as low of a profile as possible, seeing as they had just escaped prison. The night went uneventful, sleeping next to a creek where they were able to rest, have some food, and regain some of their wits and their strength. Before the night was over, 2 of the party members, Cobalt and Maka, scouted out forward to see where Amelia, the elderly woman who was also trapped inside of the prison, they went to inspect her home, trying to get a bead on whether or not it was going to be dangerous or safe for her to return home at the moment. Uncertain, because they didn't see any issues, they returned back to the party and completed the rest for the night. Awaking in the morning, nothing seemed amiss out of the town. People were going about their normal daily business. Carriages were coming in to the front gate, and the party was able to slip by and go to Amelia's home without being noticed. On arriving, they found a young girl hiding in the nearby bushes, trying to scout out and see what she could say. Emily is the name of the little girl, and she was waiting for the return of Amelia, trying to figure out what had happened to her. This was the young girl that had alerted, as we learned, Maka to Amelia's capture, and rewarded Maka with a big hug and letting him know that he was a good boy. The party sat inside of her home, Amelia's home, for a little while before Emily's father, Guard, came to the building, talked things over with them, and revealed to them that there were no official charges or crimes that they had been processed under. For this, they agreed to work with the captain of the guard to clear the names and clear up any kind of suspicions that might have been undergoing when it came to the old prison. joining the captain of the guard, named Mira, I apologize. Joining Mira, they entered into the old prison and saw that most of the place had been cleaned up, as was expected by the guards that came in afterward. They entered into the underground cavern where a terrible ritual had been occurring, one that transformed the kind elven man that they were trapped in the prison with, nicknamed Gil. And upon entering, everything seemed to be relatively calm and quiet and normal, until a tear in reality threw itself open in the back corner of the room, opening up into what appeared to be an empty, white, endless expanse, with the exception of several very large rats hopping out through the hole and into the cavern before that hole collapsed in upon itself and vanished. We last left off with the rats getting ready to charge in to attack. So with that, as we start up, welcome back everybody. Let's roll initiative.
There it goes. Oh!
Yeah, that's a bit low.
A bit low?
I apologize. My screen is giving me a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, you're not the only one, unfortunately. I'm getting a little bit of a slowdown, a hiccup here, too.
Give
Yeah,
it problems
mine
back.
as well. Because it rolled my initiative twice, I think.
Yeah, I do see it on the side. It just, yeah. Some of the dice didn't come through, and others are. So that's alright. We're still getting the rolls here, and as long as everything functions, that's all that really matters. I forgot to start the recording, so I'll just have to download afterward. Okay. So it looks like we've got some initiative rolls from all of you, and now I'm trying to pull up a notepad, which I am floundering. Just getting things
Yep.
all set up for the start. Here we
No
go.
try. Do or do not. There is no try.
Alright, so I've got from the top down. Dream, your initiative.
I'm at the top? Yes!
Oh no, what was your number?
Oh, 5.
Okay. Next, Cobalt.
I've got a 19.
Okay. I am gonna have to churn you up a little bit too. There you go.
Turn the radio up.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's good. Alright. Kaiser.
8.
Okay. Maka.
18.
Okay. And now let's go ahead and set this up here. With a little bit of a roll for what I've got on this situation here. Okay. 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 Okay, first in the order is Cobalt. Go ahead. This is your move.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that these things don't look friendly to us at all.
Absolutely not. The moment they hopped out of the portal, you can hear them hissing, just letting out a loud, just echoing through this cavernous chamber, just in the corners of their mouths as well. You can see spit just dripping and kind of grossly stringy on the end of it as well. And they are coming at you with intent.
Yeah, that does not sound good at all. He's going to yell up for Maka, sort of just get, over his shoulder, since he's sort of closer to the stairs anyway. Just yelling up, Maka, we got bad rats down here! And then pivot and sort of punch in the air and do a firebolt at the bottom one.
Go ahead and click and hold on the map in Roll20 to ping for me. Okay.
That one.
Go ahead and make your ranged spell attack.
$13.
Okay, 13. Hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
9.
9 points of damage, not bad. You do that twist and just in a single fluid motion launch this blast of fire coming straight out from essentially a closed fist, almost like you're punching through the air, igniting it and launching this blast of fire. It careens across the room, just lighting up the space as it goes, until it clips right in the front shoulder, this very large rat, and you hear the sizzle as it impacts, leaving a large plume of smoke coming off of this rat's shoulder. It turns its attention immediately to you. Anything else?
I'm going to move a little bit. So let's see. And that's going to be it. I'm not going to do a full movement. I'm just sort of just moving up a little bit. So that way I can sort of, I guess, coax him away from the guard a little bit.
Sounds good. Maka, your turn.
Giant rats. And Maka, comes down the stairs a little bit to see what's happening. Full description. It's fine. I understand it.
Yep. You were upstairs, so being able to come down a little bit will pretty much imply that you are going almost the entirety of the way down to be able to see what's going on in here.
Okay, so there's no way I can just go halfway down and see I need to go the full way, right?
Halfway is in my head pretty much all the way. It's not a very deep staircase, so
okay. And how much movement does that take?
We'll say going down the stairs 10.
10. Okay. Take a look and it's not unusual for rats to be in a hole. Oh, but these are quite big. And I will move just in front of the guard. You're our sole witness. Stay behind me. And I will hold my action to bite any rat that comes near within any of the 5 foot space.
Okay. You're holding a bite attack. Sounds good. Up next, the rats. The rats are going to go ahead and make a bit of a move. This one. Let's see.
Gee, I wonder why.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This one is going to move there. And that is going to be the second one, so we'll get to that. I'll just make the movements really fast. And the best it can do is actually get over here. So there is, you kind of put yourself in a position where they were the only one they could get to was you. So they've all made their movements.
Guard, at least.
Yeah, they've all made the movements. Maka, your held action goes off. Make a bite attack.
Is 16 enough to hit?
16 hits. Give me damage.
That is a total of 10 damage.
Okay.
So I come down and try to bite at the back of its neck.
Yeah. In its haste to run forward, it wasn't originally paying you a whole lot of heed. It was just trying to get closer. And as it comes into range, you sink your teeth down into the back of its neck. It lets out a loud squeak. Deeper, because it's a bigger rat. And now tears itself away and turns to face you and hisses. Just... Alright. So now that it is in range, we're going to go 3 of them are attacking Cobalt, and then the last one is going after Maka. First one against Cobalt. That is 14 to hit.
Nope.
And they do get multi-attack. The second attack from it is a 22.
I got bit.
This one actually is with its claw. It goes in for the bite first and then tries to swipe with its claws. So in this case here, it lands with its claw, kind of scraping against you. You take 5 slashing. Second rat. 16 to hit.
Misses.
Okay. Claw attack. 15 misses. Third rat. Bite attack. 9 misses. Claw. 14 still misses. Okay. Nimbly dodging out of the way as they all launch in. Just your training is paying off, where you're able to kind of do little flips here and there, dodging to the side, allowing the rats to move, and you just as fluidly swooping past them, and they can't land a solid hit at all, except for the one claw, which kind of woke you up a little bit. Maka, first attack is a 20 to hit with the bite.
That definitely hits.
Okay. You take 5 piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that's the one I'm bad at. $16.
Okay. As the bite sinks in, you feel almost like something is coming over you. You feel a sudden chill, but you're hardy. You shake it off and you refocus, unaffected. Claw attack. It's natural 17. Why am I getting all the good ones on you? That is a 23 to hit with a claw.
I don't even know why we're asking the question.
I'm just saying it out loud. It's not even a question. I'm just saying it out loud for records. 6 slashing damage.
Okay.
Okay. These rats are upon you, and they are just nasty. The odor is something else now that everything is here and is sitting right in front of you. Kaiser, your turn.
Okay, so looking at these rats, I can't remember if we brought it up at the end of last week or not, but are they just really angry giant rats, or can I tell if they're something else?
You are in the heat of battle. Give me a history check with advantage.
That would be a 12.
12 is absolutely enough. Kaiser, these beasts hit home for you. These are the same kind of beasts that you have encountered in the past, and you hold a certain vendetta because of what happened.
Right behind Maka, he just hears... as Kaiser moves up towards the one directly in front of him.
Okay, go ahead and move the token.
And he's going to open his palm open-handed, and he's going to grab it by the snout and drop and inflict wounds into it.
Very nice. Roll to make a attack, I believe, is what you need on that one.
Yes. I don't remember. Did we get my spell list sorted for this?
I don't remember. You know what your spell bonus is, so if you just want to roll the d20 and then add it.
That's fine. I'll just roll a d20. Oh God, what was the command for it in chat?
/R d20, I think.
Hey.
Nice.
So that'll be a 23 total.
Yep, that is... Yeah, with a +5 to hit on that one. Absolutely hits. Give me that damage.
For 19 points of necrotic damage.
Dang. With that hit, you manage to take out this rat. Describe to me how this spell finishes off this rat.
Basically, Kaiser's hand reaches out and grabs it by the snout, and black tendrils just start emerging from his hand and digging into its skin, and you can see the skin start to bulge as it works its way up to its head, and then just the skull just collapses.
Meep.
Sure enough, just grabbing onto the cranium of this rat, grabbing a hold and unleashing these tendrils of dark energy coming out of your hand. It swirls and encases the creature before almost seeming to just drain the life out and into the ether around it. You see hints of green erupting out, particles of green from this creature, before finally the skull is just brittle and you are easily able to just crush it in your hand as it falls limp in front of you. Good turn.
And with as part of the death action, just with it still in his hand, Kaiser just kicks it away like grotesque.
Sounds good. Anything else for you?
No, that'll be it for Kaiser's turn.
Sounds good. Dream, you're up.
I have a really quick request
Sure.
before I take my turn. Are you able to put color markers on the individual rats so that way I can just say what color rat? Like that. Perfect.
Yep, I can do that.
Thank you.
Blue, green, and purple are the ones still up.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
I am going to go ahead and cast Earthen Blast at blue.
Okay.
So I summon up my disc and then I immediately just chuck it.
Sounds good.
Oh no. Does a 14 hit?
Hits. Give me damage.
Oh, good. What?
Aww.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those nights.
Oh, no.
Okay.
It's in your haste with the spell, it hits, but it's so focused on Cobalt that it kind of hears the wind as the earthen disc is coming at it, and while it doesn't manage to dodge completely out of the way, it does lower itself at just the right time so that it only hits along its back, and the disc continues on and crashes into the background just behind him. Still hit him, but wasn't a solid hit.
Okay. Either way, since that was my Earth cantrip, that gives me 2 Earth motes.
That it does.
And I don't really have any bonus or move actions really that I could perform. Fortunately, everyone else is a little more tanky than me at the moment. So I'm just going to get my whip at the ready and call it a turn.
Okay. The guard captain, Mira, it is her turn. She is going to be a little shooken at what she saw Kaiser here do, but nonetheless is going to step forward here and take a swing at the blue rat. She's going to roll to attack. And with a 14, will hit. She's just got a short sword. Gonna do 4 points of damage. Okay. After she strikes it, she's just going to call out, "What are these things? Where did they come from? What is going on? Defend yourselves!" And that's going to be your turn. Back to the top. Cobalt.
Okay. Well, these things clearly need some divine intervention here. And he is going to... You know what? Let's see. Really can't move. He's gonna pivot, ignore the purple one, and his breath attack hit the green and blue.
Okay. They need to make saves for that one, I believe.
Yes. It's a DC 13.
Dex save or...
Yes, it's a dexterity save.
Okay. Fail. What was the DC?
13.
Passes, just barely.
Okay, so that one will take half.
Yeah, so it was the green one. I was kind of going in order of what I've got here. So green passes. How much damage do you get on blue?
He's going to inhale and sort of click at his tongue, and he's going to spit out lightning in this breath attack.
Ah, okay.
And that's 4 lightning damage, halved on the one that's saved.
Okay. with an oddly silent, because this isn't thunder, but is lightning instead, bolt of plasma. This lightning just kind of arcs out and just crackling through the air gently, unleashing it and piercing through the bodies of the two that you see in front of you. The one in back is a little bit more nimble and dodges to the side, but still gets a little bit caught in needing to do so. The one in front is being harried by multiple opponents and doesn't quite see it coming until it's too late, taking the full brunt of it. They shudder for a second and shake, being electrocuted until the focus is back.
And he is then going to do his Dragonic Cry by yelling at them that they are unclean and need to repent themselves, as he is brandishing a bar of soap at them.
Behold the power of Dove! Not sponsored.
What could be sponsored?
It could be, yeah. All right.
Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag not sponsored unless.
Remind me what the Draconic Cry does again?
Here, I'll put it in the thing. It is not there. No, I had it set up so I can actually hit it. There we go. As a bonus action, I let out a cry. Enemies within 10 feet of me until the start of my next turn. All allies have advantage on attack rolls against those enemies that can hear me.
Okay. Sounds good.
So I just gave everyone advantage on that by threatening the rats with soap.
Okay. Anything else for you?
Movement would cause them to attack me. I think I'm in a good spot, so I'm just going to be here.
Sounds good. Maka, your turn.
Something doesn't taste right. Keep one alive if we can. And I believe the blue one has been attacked before.
Yes,
right?
it has. Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go forward one. I'm going to attack the one in blue with a bite attack.
Go for it.
That is a 22 to hit.
Absolutely hits. Give me damage.
Hold on, that's not enough yet. Because I get Colossus Slayer, so I get an extra D8 if they're below max health. So that is a total of 17 damage.
Whew. After biting through the first one, this one is child's play for you. You know where to hit, and you do. Tell me how you take it out.
I'm going to grab its whole head in my mouth, and I'm just going to slam it against the ground 1, 2, 3 until it's not moving anymore.
Yeah. Just lifting it up. The first slam takes it down, and it is done. You hear a crunch as you slam it against the boulder on like the rocky ground underneath you. And you come again, a second one. It's just a squelch, and then the third one, a louder squelch. And it is so dead. It is completely unmoving.
I spit. Yes, there's something definitely wrong.
I would like you to give me a nature check.
Oh, that was with advantage and it shouldn't have been.
We'll take the first roll there, which would have been a 10.
Okay.
With a 10, there is something that's ringing true in your mind about this. It's instinctual. It's not anything that you've learned.
Oh, wait. If you look down there, it says 18 actually was my first roll.
Oh, no. I see.
I accidentally rolled it twice.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
18 is much better. You know, and for some reason, with the magic that has infused you, you understand the word that comes from this. Diseased. You know that these kinds of creatures typically don't have long to live, at least in your hunting experiences. You also
They're
know that it's not
diseased.
good meat.
And definitely not worth a meal. That will end my turn.
Okay. Time for the rats. Seeing this happen, I think this rat has not been touched, is not really too fussed about it. Yeah, let's see if he makes that decision. He does. Pops back here, going for Dream, and this one is going to try to get a little bit more control of his positioning. First one, going after Dream with a bite attack for a 19 to hit.
That is a hit.
Okay. You take... Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, the D20s weren't doing good, but the D8 sure did. 11 piercing. I did maximum on that one.
Ouch.
Yep. And I need a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, let's see. Oh, I forgot to mark what my proficient saving throws were for the class.
I should have done that for you. Dexterity and Wisdom.
Okay, Constitution.
Yep.
Nice!
Ooh,
Oh.
let's go! Natural 20.
Natural
Hell yeah.
20. Very nice. Completely unaffected. Not even feeling the tingle. It got you with a lot of damage, but your body is hardy. You're young. You're in your prime. It didn't affect you like it might have. Second attack with a claw. That definitely misses with a 9.
Yes.
Okay. Follow up. The other rat, Green, coming in on Cobalt with a 18 to hit on the bite. What's your AC, Cobalt?
17 it hits.
Okay. Oh, okay. 4 piercing damage, minimum damage, because that happens. And a con saving throw, please.
$16.
Okay. You feel the tendrils of something creeping in, giving you those chills, but you shake it off. You're holding firm. Claw attack coming in. I don't like that. That was even worse. Okay. 18 was the lower of the 2 rolls. I was like, nah, I just rolled a 13 again. I don't trust it. Claw attack. 5 slashing damage.
Oh, damn. Cobalt is standing there still brandishing the soap at things and is coughing up blood.
Okay. That does it for the rats. They're still kind of circling and doing what they can to fight for themselves and go for what they can. That ends their turn. Kaiser, your turn.
The double check. Has the green one been damaged at all?
Green one has been damaged at least a little.
Good. Because he's going to look at that one since it's messing Cobalt up pretty badly. And he trusts that Waking Dream can take care of himself a little bit better. So he's going to look at the green one, and just with that just enraged snarl still on his face, he's going to be like, "You're not the first to hear this, and you sure as hell won't be the last." And I'm going to cast Toll the Dead on it.
Okay, that's a wisdom save, yes?
Yes, versus 13.
Failure. Big failure on that one. Only a 3. Go ahead and give me that damage with that D12.
Oh, good. For a whopping 1 damage.
The bell goes off. It's a rat. It seems to be so used to death and that concept that maybe it didn't click as hard as you were hoping. You're not sure. Feel free to try again, but didn't seem to have too much of an effect, and you're not sure why. You know it hurt it, and it didn't resist it, but maybe the spell didn't come out right.
Kaiser just says out loud, just these damn creatures, and you want to keep one of them alive? Directing that at Maka.
Rebuttal is fine.
I can speak with it. Maybe understand it.
Dream, your turn.
I'm afraid that demons might speak a different tongue than you're used to. I cast Hold Person on purple.
Okay. Hold Person, I'm going to clarify this for you, will only work on a humanoid targets.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
So that will not work, and I'll let you know that ahead of time.
Okay, then. I'll use Charge Blade.
Okay.
And I'm casting it and I'm going to target purple with my attack.
Sounds good. Go ahead and roll that melee attack that you get in the spell.
.21 versus our AC.
Absolutely hits. Give me that damage.
Okay, and yeah, so that's going to be 7 damage.
Mm-hmm.
That also gives me 2 more motes. This time of air.
Yep. Now that was just your regular whip damage. You also deal your wisdom mod on top of it, I believe.
Yes, that's already been added to it.
What's your dex mod?
Oh, it adds my dex mod too?
Yeah, because it's a regular weapon attack, so you still need to add your casting modifier here.
Oh, okay. That's going to be 3 damage, because I thought that since this was my attuned item, then I just added wisdom and replaced my dexterity.
Oh yes, so because it's your
Oh,
it's your conduit weapon, you get to add your wisdom instead. I do apologize, but because it's charged blade, you also add on the additional damage from that. So let me pull up charged blade. I didn't mean to click that. Ignore that. Just to make sure that I'm reading this correctly, because there's 2 different versions that I can run with. But I'm pretty positive it adds your... Here it is. Pretty positive it adds your spellcasting mod on top of it all. Target suffers the weapon attack's normal effects, and you can cause electricity to leap from the target to a different creature of your choice that you can see. Second creature takes lightning damage equal to your spellcasting ability mod. Okay. So, it's not until later, when the cantrip goes up, that you deal additional damage.
To that target.
To that first target, yeah.
Right.
So right there, that was basically just a regular whip attack, but you get your motes for it even still.
Yep.
So, okay. So yeah, it is just 7 damage. My apologies.
No, thank you for clearing that up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else from you?
Let's see. Unless I can cast Mage Armor as a bonus action, no.
Alright. Moving on to Mira, the guard captain. She is going to step up here and try to intimidate the rat into attacking her instead. She slams her sword against her shield and just clang. loud sound echoing through the chamber as she does it. Just, come on, I'm your opponent. And rolls for an intimidation. And is successful. So now pulls the focus onto her, and she will use that as kind of a free bonus action and do nothing else. And is ready to go. That's it. Top of the round. Cobalt, your turn.
I'm gonna shove this bar of soap down its throat.
Make an attack.
Yeah. Fuck.
Damn.
It is 100% one of those nights.
Yep.
Kind of glad we're facing rats right now, and not like something much bigger.
Right.
So with a natural one, unfortunately, you miss on your strike. That's your regular attack.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do the bonus attack that you get for a bonus action? What you got?
Pick it up.
Pick
it
up.
up.
Screw it. Flurry of blows.
Okay, 2 more attacks.
That's 12.
12 does not hit.
16.
That does. Give me some damage.
That is 5 soap damage.
5 soap damage. You go for the hits. The first 2, you're not making connection with the bar of soap. The first one, it goes wide, and the rat just opens up its mouth and hisses at you. Just the second one, you go and you stomp down on its foot, not dealing any damage, but causing it to reel back in pain as you shove the soap down into his throat, releasing it. And now the rat has a bar of soap in his mouth and begins to cough, and you see little bubbles pop out of his mouth. Just he's trying to clear his throat at this point. He's still breathing. It's not like doing anything crazy, but little bubbles coming out of the rat's mouth now.
Putting a whole new meaning to cleanse the unclean.
All right. Any movement, or are you good?
He's gonna look at it and just yell, Byron Dash, speak now for ever rest in peace.
Mako, your turn.
That's not how it works, but good try. And I'll run up beside Cobalt, and I will non-lethal attack with the attempt to pin at the end. I don't know how this is going to work.
I understand. You want to make it non-lethal, and your objective is to not kill, but to knock unconscious and be on top as a pin kind of idea.
Yeah, somehow incapacitate.
Yep.
It's a 17 to hit.
Yes.
That is... I think I rolled it... Well, it came at the same twice, so that's 10 damage. For that.
Uh-huh.
Plus another 6 damage, so 16 damage total.
Okay. Yeah. Sure enough, you are able to grab it by the back of its neck, where you are used to at this point, and you do a lift once again, slam it down, and you hear it squeak and kind of whimper, as then you lay down on top of it and hold it pressed down with your weight. It's scrabbling, trying to get out, but it's so weak and would be considered unconscious in any other scenario, but because you want it specifically to restrain it in that regard and go for non-lethal, it is too weak to get away and scrabble and do anything. It is, for all intents and purposes, unconscious, but still conscious because that's what you asked for.
So it's incapacitated.
It is currently incapacitated.
There's someone big girl. You shouldn't talk with your mouth full.
Okay. Is that your turn, Mako?
Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
Okay. It is the rat's turn. While the rat is technically unconscious, and you did non-lethal, I don't need to make those saves for it. The other rat is going to go ahead and see that things are not going too well. Just took a whip hit. Is going to retreat back here. So you do get an attack of opportunity.
I will go ahead and take it.
Okay.
Let's see. Here's my whip. Never mind.
Fucking hell.
Okay. Yeah, with the natural one, unfortunately, it was too quick. You got the one crack, and it's not 100% proficient yet for you. So you're not super quick on the rebound, and it manages, as you go for the crack, for it to just quickly sidestep and get out of the way. It moves back and goes towards the guard captain and goes in lunging with a bite attack. Ooh. Well, that's a natural 17 on the dice, so that hits. Let's roll the damage. It's going to be 6 damage to Mira. That looks like it hurt quite a bit. She's got to roll a con save, and fails the con save. Okay. Claw attack. Hits with a natural 16. Dice, 4 damage. Not too bad. Mira is looking very hurt, and at this point is appearing to very quickly be overcome with some kind of sickness. She's got chills running through. She's kind of shaking a little bit and doesn't really seem to be standing too well. That does it for the rats. Kaiser.
Seeing the purple rat trying to retreat and the huge chunk it just took out of Mira, be cleansed in the bath of holy hellfire, and he's going to throw guiding bolt at it.
Okay, roll your attack.
Yeah, that's going to miss at
Yeah.
8.
Unfortunately, you can't quite get the exact angle that you're hoping for. With Mira being there, you're too afraid of hitting her, and your shot goes wide.
Damn it all! And that'll end Kaiser's turn.
Okay. Dream, your turn.
Okay. I'll step forward and I will use my whip on purple.
Okay.
Does a 15 hit?
Yes, it does. Give me some damage.
I would like to dump my motes into this.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 motes, and they're opposite elements, so I think that ups my damage dice to D8s.
D6s.
D6s, that's right. My apology.
All good.
So first is my whip damage. And rolling 4d6.
Mhm.
That makes me feel a lot better.
16 on
Oh,
top of
yeah.
that. Okay. Tell me how you finish this thing off.
Okay. Well, it's force damage, so I bring the whip down from above. It snaps and almost like it's imbued with concussive force. It just slams the rat into the ground like a dust cloud comes up with the heavy impact that is pressed down against. And it's basically squished.
Okay. And considering that it's a whip and slashing, you take the whip back and you go down and bring it straight down with an unnatural but obviously magical force as you're focusing all of your unleashed elemental motes towards the tip. It cracks down on the back straight across on top of this large rat and causes it to smack hard into the ground. Just in the room, you hear a brief reverberation, just a deep bass, just as it ends up slamming into the ground. As the dust cloud settles, you have bisected this rat in half with that concussive force. It is no more.
Yay. That'll be my turn.
Okay. It goes back to Mira. She looks around and makes the smart decision to protect herself momentarily with a dodge action, bringing the shield up in front of her and trying to just guard herself as best as she can. You could see she's weak, she's kind of weary, and shaking as she does. And it's not out of fear, because you could still see the resolve on her face, just her body. And she lets you know by calling out, something doesn't feel right. I gotta back up. Just cover me. And she will take some steps back. The rat in front of her is incapacitated and is unable to make any kind of an attack. So she just takes those steps back and holds herself there. This takes us out of combat.
So on top of just looking and sounding weak and wary, is she looking like pale or green or sickly or anything?
It's a little too early to tell. Dust is still kicked up, and she was right next to the dust. So it, unfortunately, without a medicine check, you're not 100% sure, and you'd have to go over to her to double check.
That's what Kaiser would do anyway.
Okay.
Go over and check her, just because of how she sounds and just how wobbly she looks.
Okay, go ahead and make that medicine check for me.
Medicinal. I rolled that at advantage again. God damn it.
It's alright, we'll take the first one, which was a 13 plus, which was 13. Okay. The DC for this was 12. I was going along with the same save that you needed from the attack in the first place. So you are successful. On top of this, you know what? No, I would give you advantage anyway. You blow this out of the water because in your adventures, this is something very specific. This is something you have seen. This is something you have dealt with. She's at a very early stage, obviously, but it sets in quick.
So,
And you will know specifically, it's a diseased condition. for mechanical purposes.
Right. Yeah, seeing this and knowing that what it is and that it's in the early stages, Kaiser's gonna hang in there, put his hand on his shoulder, and I want a lesser restoration to cure the disease.
Okay. And sure enough, lesser restoration is able to remove this disease with the spellcast. How does your lesser restoration look? How do you draw the disease from her?
In honor of the goddess that he serves, a sort of silver light, a silver aura like traces over her body and then completely envelops her, and then the energy sort of starts warping around and comes back out towards Kaiser as like a beam, and then this disperses.
Okay. A beam
It's
of,
cool, like it makes her feel a little bit cool.
Mm-hmm. A beam of silvery light appears from quite literally nowhere because you're underground, making this obviously some kind of magic. It envelops her and gives her body almost a gentle silvery sheen to it before condensing down, and the light beam from above dissipates for moments while she herself is still enveloped before you pull the energy back from her and now have this ball of silvery energy resting above your hand. And inside of it, you see a gentle greenish glow, denoting the disease that you had pulled from her body.
Kami be praised.
Thank you, Kamina. And then he's just gonna like lightly blow on it like a dandelion and just disperse it.
And that it does.
And it'll vanish.
Harmlessly into the air. The disease passes. She is still wounded and does look pretty bad overall. Kind of weak, but she's now not shivering and clutching onto basically anything that she can. She's steadying herself, and that's a good sign. Thank you, cleric. That's very much so welcomed. It must have been some kind of illness that it had within it.
Now, all of these foul creatures, a lot of them tend to carry diseases like that. It's disgusting.
Well, we should put this last one out of its misery then.
Hold this one in four, please.
Maka's still holding it down with his teeth.
Not you, I think you are too tiny.
I have something I believe I can try. And I will cast Entangle.
Okay, that's a area effect. You have the ability to target just it based on where you place the effect, or if you want to get other people involved, you can. Where do you center the focus? Actually, because Maka is on top of the creature, you're going to get Maka trapped in there too. There's no way around that. Forgot about the perspective there. Maka is literally pinning this creature down. You will get Maka caught up in that as well.
Then I guess I better hope that Maka makes their strength saving throw.
Okay. Maka, make a strength saving throw, please.
4.
Wolf is entangled. The rat is also unconscious, so it unconscious status, so it cannot pass the save, and it will automatically fail and be held there.
This is not what I had in mind.
You
Cobalt
probably should have been more specific.
Cobalt stepped over and pulls out his quarterstaff and kind of just pokes at the rat, not really trying to hurt it, but just sort of just poking at it. And Maka, Byron, Dash, I realize a bird in hand is worth a partridge in a pear tree, but why do we want this diseased filth?
That one caused physical pain.
If you would allow me the time to struggle against these vines.
Yeah, I was
And
speaking
speak
of
with
that.
it.
As Maka's wrapped up, Kaiser's going to walk up and start pulling on the vines to try and help Maka out.
With a couple seconds of time, and considering that there's no immediate threat, you will be able to free him with your assistance. The two of you will be able to get him free, because there's not any kind of encounter situation worried about. You have all the time in the world to do this, so it's perfectly fine.
Thank you, Kaiser. Now, if you'll give me just a moment, and I will cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
You, small one, rat.
Hey.
Awaken.
Fear. Afraid. Must flee. So tired.
Focus.
You.
Where did you come from?
Wait. Room. No food. Had to leave.
No food.
Came here. Food. So hungry. So tired.
Did you see anyone before you were put in the White Room?
Yes. The person gave food. Was okay. Ate food. Tasted funny. Then stopped suddenly. Nothing but white.
Do you remember the color of the person?
Hair. Fur. Top of head. White. Eyes. Red.
Thank you. May you rest. And after I get done speaking with it, I'm going to look at Kaiser or, any of them. Say, this one won't last long. It would be a mercy to kill it.
The last thing you
Good.
hear from it, as it continues on, it just repeats, so tired. So cold. So tired.
So you're done with it then?
Yes, I am done with it, and I will tell you what happened after you end it.
So hungry.
Then Kaiser walks up and he just lifts his boot up and just crushes its skull with as much force as he can.
Yeah, I don't think I wanted that bar of soap back anyway.
The animal, the rat, spoke of a person with white hair.
I forgot. You put the soap in his mouth. As the last dying breath escapes, more bubbles. It's just a jet stream of bubbles out of it, because that's funny, and that actually would happen, so, based on what I said before.
I was about to say, and after I'm done crushing its skull, Kaiser would reach down and pick up the obviously bloody, gory bar of soap and hold it over to Cobalt.
No, that soap is unclean. Also, and Cobalt looks down at himself and like shows his the red on his claws now. I think I need a band-aid.
Well, not here, but if we want to move upstairs, I can assist some while Maka tells us what's going on.
Very well. I will wait until we are upstairs to tell you what I heard.
Okay. So I think it's safe to assume then that a lot of you head back up the stairs?
Affirmative.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there any additional searching around the room or anything before we leave here that you want to do as a last second? I want to make sure I'm clarifying that that is an option.
I would like to use an Arcana check on the ritual circle.
Sure. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me.
And it is not that good. We're going to try. Oh, well, there you go.
Okay. With a 19 total Arcana, you haven't studied regular magical lore too thoroughly, but one of the things that is relatively introductory is the schools of magic. What you see in front of you is absolutely transmutation magic, and is very specifically a transmutation circle. It is used by different alchemists. It's used by mages that are trying to convert one essence of something to another. It's all about change, as transmutation is. And in this case here, you're noting that some of the extra sigils that are thrown into the circle, which aren't specifically denoting the larger transmutation, the extra sigils are denoting human and demon.
I see. Interesting. Go ahead and go upstairs. I'll catch up in just a moment. Gotta take my time with these things, you know.
I would like to do one last sniff check of the area,
Mm-hmm.
but then and it will just be a general, like up in the air. Do I detect any new scents that since I came down here?
You do not. You are paying
Okay.
very close attention to the smells and everything, and in this kind of a situation, the alerting sulfurous smell that came from before has completely dissipated, and you do not note anything different standing out at the moment. You definitely pick up the scent of blood, but outside of that, nothing is different.
Okay. I will walk beside the guard here
Mhm.
Until she goes up the stairs, and then we'll follow close behind.
Okay. And Mira, she will say, "Yeah, having a chair sounds pretty good right now. That'd be good." And you can. She starts walking towards the stairs, and you can see a little couple drops of blood forming a trail behind her.
You are bleeding quite profusely. Do you need assistance?
Probably, yeah. Let's get upstairs and we can treat these wounds. I think
Lean on me if you need it.
She looks hesitant, a little conflicted.
Don't worry, I've taken care of an old woman for a year now, and she does the same thing from time to time.
So I'm just like an old woman now. Well, it had to
As
come
long as you are
eventually.
injured and move such, but you will be better in no time.
Curious times, talking with a wolf. She rests her hands on the side, one at a time, and just kind of uses you to prop herself up a bit. And the two of you are able to head upstairs. Cobalt, Kaiser, are you following?
Yeah, I was about to say, I would probably follow sort of close to Cobalt, since he's looking rough as well at the moment, just to
Okay.
make sure he doesn't kill over.
He's going to use, since he has his quarterstaff out, he's going to use his quarterstaff to sort of prop himself up and follow behind Maka.
Okay.
He
Not
wants
walking
nothing to do
beside
with
him.
this dirty place anymore.
So all four of you then move up the stairs, leaving just Dream and all of these corpses here.
All right. There's one last thing that I would like to check before I head upstairs and catch up with everyone else.
Sure.
I wanted to inspect the area that the portal came in, if there was any maybe items or artifacts that promoted the opening,
Mhm.
told it to open there, or if there were any sigils in the area.
Sure. Go ahead and roll an investigation check for me. And because you have plenty of time to do this, depending on how long you want to take, you can roll advantage. Taking advantage will mean you're taking a minute to do it.
I will go ahead and take advantage on this.
Okay.
Thank goodness for that.
Thank goodness for the advantage. All right.
So many ones tonight. What is going on?
Right? Hey, it's better than 20s against you guys, right? Right? Yeah.
That just means we're getting out of this out of our system now, and we'll get all the natural 20s when the big times come.
Yeah, there you go. So a 14 investigation. Taking a look at the area in general, what you're able to pick up on is there are bits of ash on the floor, and that is where the portal originally opened. These bits of ash are blackened and have a little bit of a purplish hue to it as well. This kind of remnant, if you brush it aside gently, you will see that there is no runic markings underneath. There doesn't seem to be any remnants that indicated there was any kind of carving of a rune underneath it. It just seems to be ash marks down there. This is very reminiscent for you, because this is very much so reminding you of the time that you ran into something like this before. The same kind of debris left over.
Okay. Then I think that's the end of my checks. If we want to go ahead and let everyone else do their thing, and I'll join them in a bit.
Okay. You'll move to head up the stairs. Let's go ahead and pop over to the prison. Dream is downstairs. I'm going to pull you out of frame for now, but everybody is up here. So you're able to go ahead and get up the stairs, and Mira moves immediately over to the chair and sits herself down. Oh, well then. That takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, that down there was rough. Rougher than what we dealt with the first time we were here.
Yeah, perhaps it feels more like that because there was more of them. The white rat spoke of a white room, but more so spoke of needing food, being provided food by someone with white hair and red eyes. It made
Wow.
it sound as if the disease was in the food. I'm speculating, of course, but it claimed that it was, and I think for a moment, hungry, and then felt this disease come forth after the one with white hair and red eyes gave it the food.
So the warden dude's being a dick again.
Could be the warden, yeah. And while that conversation's going on, you can make it this what you will. But the first thing Kaiser wants to do is he wants to get out the pack with the supplies that he got from the church that he was carrying on him.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to look through those random supplies to see if there's anything in there that could help with healing.
magical kind of healing, I wouldn't say so. You don't have a healer's kit. So there's nothing specifically set up for normal medical treatment. No.
I know someone that has very good with healing potions.
I'm gonna look, as he's saying that, I'm gonna look back and forth between Mira and Cobalt. Who looks the worst out of the two of them?
Cobalt, what is your current HP?
11.
Mira looks worse.
Alright. Cobalt, I think you might be well enough as it is to make it back to Amelia's house.
He sort of just like holds onto his side. He's like, yeah, just a bandage, I'll be good.
And I'm gonna walk up to Mira and using my last spell slot, I'm going to drop Cure Wounds into her.
Okay.
That is...
I walk up to Cobalt and I start licking some of his wounds.
Oh.
Yeah, Cobalt's just gonna let that happen.
Oh, where is that?
So you're going to be first level Cure Wounds,
Yeah.
D8 plus your Wisdom, and because of Life Domain, 2 plus the spell level additional, I believe. So in this case, it should be D8 plus 3 plus your Wismod, I think.
So that was 6. The Wiz would make it 9, plus the 2 would be 11, plus the spell's level would make it 12 points of healing.
Okay, let me just quickly check to make sure I did that correctly. Cleric, Life Domain, first level or higher, 2 plus the spell's level. Yeah, so 3, what's your Wisdom? 3?
Yeah.
6, and then you rolled a what on the die?
I rolled a 6.
Okay, so 12 total points of healing. The wound that was there is magically stitched back together, almost like it's reversing time, to the point where she is whole, hearty, and healthy once again. Oh, that's it's quite a kick in the pants. Thank you. You're Kaiser, right? That was your name?
That's right.
Thank you. I'm fit as a fiddle. That's a nice trick. I'll have to learn how to do that myself one of these days.
Don't mention it. It definitely helps in a pinch.
Oh, yes. What would you like for me to do? And it's at this point, Dream, your minute would have been up, and you'll be approaching and coming up through the stairs.
Sorry about that, everyone. Got lost in my own thoughts. How's everyone feeling?
Mira is smiling. I'm good. Our cleric friend here just fixed me right up. We got to look after your kobold friend. He's a little bit injured.
Cobalt just like gives sort of a thumbs up and goes, I'm bright as a moonless night.
I concur. I once again raise the awareness that I know someone who knows how to make health potions.
Ah, yes. The resident unofficial apothecary, Miss Yashram, yes?
That is correct, yes. Amelia does know her way around how to make twigs into something more.
I'm completely drained at the moment. If we hope to get Cobalt fit as a fiddle again, we definitely need to get him back to her place.
Well, I can help bring you back to Mrs. Yashram's place if you would like. If we manage to stitch up the wound that Cobalt has suffered, it should be okay. It doesn't look to be... She's kind of glancing around. Doesn't look to be too terribly bad. Nothing that I haven't seen during some training runs. You're resilient for a little guy. And we could just go to the doctor in the town to get that treated up, or we can go back to Mrs. Yashram's place and rely on the more magical means. Your call. I'll take you whichever way you'd like. Because we've seen some shit, and I think I can trust you all, because I'd be dead if not for you. So...
Shit.
You okay over there? Maka, it was?
Yes, I apologize.
I heard you cursing. I wanted to make sure everything was okay.
I am simply repeating a word that I have not heard much before.
Oh, this feels like I just taught a child a curse word. I am so sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
That is not
Is
normally a good word.
That's not something you say during proper social etiquette. Let's put it that way.
Then why did she say it before?
This isn't proper social etiquette, I guess.
Is this not just normal conversation between humans?
In this situation, it's fine, but you don't want to just go randomly spouting the word like it's normal. It's used for more stressful situations.
Stressful, like what we just came from downstairs.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that was what we call a shit show.
Shit show. Very well.
It's amazing how quickly I realize a wolf can get tongue-tied with all of this. Anyway, my thoughts aside, which would you like me to take you to? The town doctor or back to Mrs. Yashram's place?
I think Miss Amelia would probably be the better option here.
I could go for a cup of tea.
Alright, and I think our canid friend is of the same mind?
Of course. Going to see Amelia is the one thing I know how to do best.
How about our last friend here, the one that came up last? What's about you? Feeling good about Mrs. Yashram's place?
I have no qualms.
All
I
right.
go wherever the wind takes me.
Then it seems like that's our destination. All right. As soon as you lot are ready, we will go ahead. We will leave this terrible place and go back to something a little more cozy and a little bit more comfortable, shall we?
Plus, after that, as Cobalt mentioned, some hot tea would be nice.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you rest for just a moment longer before gathering yourselves, heading out the door, and making your way back into the town. You enter into the town in the back. Once again, the town of Dialt, as you have been around and everything. And the general disposition still seems to be of mostly busy work. A lot of people still going about and doing their things as they need to. Not too much crazy, if you will, going on. But it does seem to be a little bit quieter after this short stint here. The initial hustle and bustle of the day's adventures of setting up for their stalls and their businesses has calmed down, and now it's just business as usual, it seems. So things are pretty calm overall. However, this calmness leads the most of you, in fact all of you, to notice that as you're passing through the streets, while you didn't get looks before, now there are noticeably more people looking your way, having little hushed whispers off on the side and pointing in your direction. Mira stays with you the entire time and is smiling and chatting up with you a little bit, saying, "Oh, over there is the tavern that we have. It's a wonderful place. The lumber yard. Make sure you stop over there, get a bite to eat before you do anything else. It's a great little sit down. Love the place. Out here on the roads is too. We've got our jewel crafters. We've got a smith, our local smith back there. Tailors, people bringing in goods from all over the place, trying to sell and barter with the wood that we do here. It's a nice little town. I'm proud of it, and I want to thank you all again for helping protect this town, because I mean, I would not have been able to handle that, and truthfully, I don't know if my men are ready for something like that. So thank you."
But at least one good thing did come out of it. You got to see with your own eyes the disaster that was down there.
Yes, certainly. And I'll be going to the mayor with this information and letting him know that there's now a bounty, whatever we want to set it at, for this previous warden, as he called himself apparently, in front of you. But I believe the name was Asterfell, was his name, as I read through before. Last name. I didn't quite get a first name, but it's good to know.
One would assume that if he purchased the lot, then he might have used some kind of moniker.
It's possible. We didn't exactly do too much of a background check as far as I know. I mean, things are quiet here. Normally we trust people that come into town best we can, and it seems our trust was betrayed, unfortunately.
Seems like after this you might want to revise that trust policy a little bit.
Certainly. We're going to have to take a closer look at what's going on for sure. Well, continuing on through the town, at some point, periodically, throughout your walk, a couple children, individually, come up and they just give a quick wave, and you notice that they are waving to Maka. And Maka, these are the familiar kids that you were watching, spending your time watching and getting to know.
I give a knowing look and bow in their direction without saying anything.
They smile and give little chuckles as each one comes in and waves individually, and then go back on their merry way to play for the day, as their morning chores seem to be done by now.
Wait, are we free of the city? Like, is this on the outside of the wall?
No, this is still inside the city proper.
Oh yeah, then I'm remaining quiet.
You continue through the city proper to get to the front and to the outside of the wall, and still two guards sitting there maintaining the front gate, checking people coming in, checking people going out. Right now it's quiet, so they are engaging in a game of rock, paper, scissors. You pass by them, turn the corner, and you are now on a clear path to Amelia's place.
It's still very strange to be able to come through this area next to the wall, so close and so steamy.
So you don't travel through the village much then?
That was my first time. I normally stay to the outside in the forests.
That must have been a hell of a stop for the townspeople then.
Thinking about it, I don't think I can blame you. I bet it's quite awkward. An unusual territory, that is.
It is not the people, it's the people that worry me way more than the surroundings.
Mira pipes up. I can understand that. We don't get a lot of bad apples every so often, but once in a blue moon, somebody, steps out of line kind of idea, and we gotta lock them up for a night, which is why we stopped using the larger prison that we just came from together and just used a smaller 2-cell room in the back of the guard quarters. There was nothing really we needed to worry about. It's a quiet town. Or at least it was.
The 6-cell prison was your larger prison?
Yeah, back before we made the renovations to the guard outpost with our barracks, we decided, the mayor and the people as a whole decided that we didn't need the larger prison anymore. It was barely ever being used. People were coming and people were going, sticking true to the laws and the rules of the land, and not really seeing any use. We said we can sell it off, make a little bit of money to do some repairs to the walls, and try to keep everything else functioning, and we did. We made some very needed repairs to the walls to keep them up and sturdy, repaired some of the major buildings, and ended up having a little bit left over for kind of a town celebration, if you will. It was nice. So now, traveling just around the outside, you come to the front of Amelia's hut once again. Gentle white smoke billowing out from the top of the chimney that she has, and moving through the situation to get up to the front door without any issues. The door is closed.
Obviously, observing common courtesy, Kaiser would knock on the door.
Come in! You hear Amelia call from inside.
I will open the door and just... It's us. We're back.
Ah, good. I'm glad to see you all back. And safely, too. And, oh...
Safe is a relative term.
Yes, I can see, the poor little one here, Cobalt. You're injured, my dear. Are you quite alright?
Actually,
I
that's...
need a Band-Aid and a cup of tea, please.
Oh, well, the tea is coming right up. Don't you worry. In fact, come here. Let me show you how we do the tea here, and I'll be able to treat that wound for you while we get that going, okay?
Okay.
Go. So she takes you over to the stove, and you begin preparing the tea, boiling water, doing as you do.
Mhm.
Make a perception check for me.
– 17.
Okay. Let's have the rest of you give me perceptions as well. But I assume before you give me those rolls, you'll be conversing amongst yourselves for a moment?
Yeah, Kaiser, speaking of, he would be talking directly to Mira. When it comes to documentation for stuff like the gel and who bought it, where would you get your hands on those documents?
that would be the town hall. I need to go there soon anyway to speak with the mayor and let him know about the circumstances and make sure that we don't let this individual come back in, because something clearly was going up. I can tell, based on everything that we just saw, something is up. Don't know who caused it, but I know it wasn't you lot. Because if it was, you could have easily left me there to die, and easily could have come back and told whatever fabrication you wanted, or gotten away scot-free. But I owe you all my life, because I would have had to go down and investigate that myself anyway. So, I have full faith that I can say it wasn't you, and that we have nothing to worry about when it comes to you lot. But, I mean, no offense to Maka, I don't know if I can take the word of just one wolf who talked to a rat, which is in itself such a strange sentence to say, that it was someone who meets the description of Mr. Asterfell that came through and purchased the prison before. I don't know if I have enough just to go off of that, truth be told.
I understand. At the same time, something has bothered me. The rat mentioned a white room. Do any of you remember what that means?
Oh, that's where it came from.
I do not remember seeing a white room.
Don't either.
So you four might not have caught it all. Dream definitely saw it. Because you saw when the portal was opening, and you saw the rats jump out.
It was what was on the other side of the portal.
Portal.
Where the rats jumped out, please keep up.
I do not know of a portal. Is it like a doorway?
Sort of.
I did not see any white rooms down there in that basement, I believe it's called.
A portal you could consider is a long distance doorway that you can use to get from one place to another.
Sometimes the places aren't necessarily in the same world.
Now I would like the perception checks from you three.
Oh, why am I still on advantage? I'm sorry. I'll re-roll that.
You're okay.
I keep doing the same thing too.
I can always take the first die in that perception roll, and
Oh, well,
it worked
that
to be the same. Yep. Okay. With a 24 for Dream, a 25 with a natural 20 from Kaiser. The two
I
of
see
you,
beyond the veil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The two of you happen to catch the glimpse of light that comes from over at the stove as Amelia and Cobalt are cooking and making some tea. Kaiser, you immediately recognize that this is a spell, and you know the spell with a natural 20, and because you can cast it, it's Cure Wounds. Dream, you recognize it as a spell, and with a 24, you can surmise, based on what you've seen, it's probably Cure Wounds. Cobalt, unfortunately, does not see it, because she was a little bit too sneaky. Maka's a little bit more focused in
how
the
to make
attention.
tea.
Yeah.
I was told to watch how to make tea, and that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. So with that, Cobalt, you are healed for 11 points of damage.
Okay.
Now, once you get the tea leaves into the top here, the important thing is to just let it sit for a bit. Not too long, but also not too little. Otherwise, you won't get the flavors.
So how long is a bit?
When you think it's time, trust your instincts.
He's gonna sort of like stare and concentrate at it then.
Okay.
As someone who drinks tea regularly, I can tell you that if it's black, let it sit for longer.
So, is there any other conversations you would like to have?
Kaiser, at the meantime, is going to just put a pin in the whole seeing Amelia cast Cure Wounds thing. And I'm going to go back to Mira for a minute. But yeah, the reason I was asking about those documents earlier is because there's something else I'm investigating on a personal level myself. And after today, there might be a connection here that I would like to look into with this Astrofel.
All right. Is there something I can help pull up for you? Is there any information that maybe I can gather for you? I mean, I might not be able to get everything, but if I know what I'm looking for, I'd at least be able to tell you.
Maybe his full name, first and last, would probably be helpful, and just maybe any other general information, like where he said he came from.
I'm sure I can get some of that at the very least. I mean, he had to sign the paperwork, and we ask for a first name, not just the last when we do that, so I'm sure I can find that at least.
Just anything that you can get would be highly appreciated.
Certainly.
Even if it's not an alias, it should still give us something, some kind of breadcrumbs to find his true identity.
I'll give you something. That's the hope.
We've got the last name, if it's not an alias itself, so anything else that we can attach to that would be helpful.
Certainly.
It would give us a place to start, at least.
Yeah. I'll see what I can do. Within the confines of the law, I will do whatever I can to help.
Amelia,
Yes, Maka?
is there anything that we are missing? Any herbs? Of course, we need to restock after the recent events, I understand, but anything you need that's of import?
Well, no, nothing that I can think of. You actually did quite such a wonderful job gathering that I have a supply for a while. It's just making the potions as I do takes time, as you know. That's the key thing, is making sure that it sits and you know when it's ready. Speaking of, Cobalt dear, your tea should be ready.
Okay. And he'll pour the tea into a cup.
But yes, I do appreciate the offer, Maka, but we're very well stocked. You were quite the go-getter over the last few weeks and months, so more than I could have possibly gathered myself, and I have quite the surplus now. It's just a matter of taking the time to use it in the way it needs to be used.
I give a slight wag and bow my head and just simply go next to the table where I usually lie down and lie down there.
Mm-hmm. She comes over to the table and has a seat with all of you. Brings over the rest of the tea with Cobalt. That's, now that it's been poured and all, and offers out a cup to everybody.
Kaiser gratefully accepts with a nod.
Very good. Now, you are all welcome to stay for as long as you would like. It's a little tight in here, but what kind of host would I be to turn away, well, family, and she looks down to Maka, and friends who helped get this family back together and out of a bad situation.
Your hospitality is greatly appreciated.
I would think nothing of it, my dear. After all,
You're very kind. Thank you.
I try to do right by those who do right by me. And I think both of us in this room, and she points to Mira, would be a lot worse off, if not completely gone, if not for you. So, I give my thanks.
I'm going to use a spell slot to cast Healing Word on myself.
Mhm.
Let's see. Do I actually have it written? Oh, yes, I do. Nice. Oh, that was supposed to automatically roll that.
Oh, did it just,
Hold on. I can... Well, I'll roll it solid for now, and then I'll try and fix my formula.
Sure.
So I heal 5.
5 points of healing.
Okay, I'm almost to full.
Nice. So,
And then, Dream, or how high are the rafters, and is there space above the rafters?
there does not appear to be too much space. It's not, like, super pointed. But the rafters of the building are about 8 feet, 7 to 8 feet above the floor level.
But still not enough space for me to perch?
It'll be tight. But you can do
Okay,
it.
that's fine. So, to help conserve space, Dream's going to take up or going to kind of climb up into the rafters, because he can, and just kind of rest up there.
Okay. So, you are able to have a little bit of a rest here. Mira enjoys her cup of tea, and then stands up and says, well, I'm going to go see if I can't find that information for you. Feel free to explore Dialt as you see fit. Just make sure you stay out of trouble. And I'll come back here before the night is through, and if you're not here, I'll leave the information with Miss Yasharim here, and we'll get that going.
Thanks again. And I think we've had our fair share of trouble to last us for a few days anyway.
Trouble always has a way of finding those that don't want it, though. Still, we be careful. That's why the guards are here. Try to keep people out of trouble. Be it the trouble they start themselves, or the trouble they just find themselves in. So, thank you again. And, I must be off. Mary gives a little salute, and then heads out the door. So, with this, now that you are back in Amelia's house, and you are safe and have dealt with this rat problem, we are going to go ahead and take our break.
Hey.
Yay.
So, and there we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for our short break that we got a chance to take care of the couple things that we needed to. Everybody is looking good, so let's go ahead and jump right back into our scene. Just before the break, we left with Mira, the captain of the guard, heading back out to go into the town proper to gather some information regarding this warden character that keeps cropping up on this situation here for you. You have a bit of time to converse, to explore the city if you would like. Up to you. What would you like to do?
Guys, after we are all sort of done with their tea, he's going to look around at the sort of just chilling group. He's going to look at Amelia. Miss Amelia, if you don't mind, could I maybe have a private chat with you? Step outside for a bit of fresh air for a moment?
A bit of fresh air sounds good. Sure, why not? She'll go ahead and she'll step outside with you.
Guys are all right behind her, and he'll make sure the door's shut as they step outside, and he'll walk away a little bit, get away from the walls of the house a bit.
Mhm.
And he's just going to stand there and just take a moment. Let himself and Amelia take in the outside for a minute.
It is quite nice out here. I don't come out often enough. Always cooped up inside of my home.
I come outside plenty, lots of traveling, but fresh air, you just can't beat it. Anyway, the thing I wanted to talk to you about is you're not just a mere potion maker, are you?
Well, my dear, I don't know what you're talking about.
I figured. I know what you did for Cobalt in there.
Ah. So you saw me cast the spell. Yes, I am capable of casting a few spells.
Not everyday, just simple apothecaries go and cast healing magics.
She smiles. That's true, but I am no ordinary everyday apothecary.
Do you mind if I ask where, how you learned?
A long life, a lot of adventures, a lot of stories to tell, people I've met along the way. When you've lived as long as I have, dear, you see quite a few things. Life brings quite the experience sometimes.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth?
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking sort of at the sky, sort of wistfully, like he's thinking back. It's funny to believe that. I am what I am now, but early in my life, I was actually training to be a warrior. Believe it or not.
I can see it. You have a decent physique for it, that's for certain. What drove you away from that?
I found the calling to help people is the best way to explain it.
It's a good enough way for me. That's what set me out on my journeys so many years ago. Seeing people sick and injured and wanting to help but not knowing how. The world around us provides many, many things to help those in need. All we need do is reach out and ask one of the gods or goddesses to lend their aid through the world around us itself. And I've gotten through most of my days. It's not often I need to use magics, but I know a thing or two. And your new friend, Amaka, he picked up a thing or two from me.
Did he now? That's something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry for the subterfuge of it. I didn't want to speak publicly and blow the lid off of it.
Oh no,
since
it's quite alright. I didn't want to bring attention to it. As you know, when people know you can do things like that, as I'm sure you're well aware, people start lining up.
All too well. The church can sometimes barely contain the people that come in and seeking air healing abilities.
Mm-hmm. Well, this was nice. How about we go back in and sit for a little longer?
Sure thing. Just one more question. Do you just learn and practice generally, or did you worship anyone for it?
General learn, general practice. There was little bits of influence here and there for worship, as far as I can recall, but, well, skilled in all, a master of none, as they would say, in some regards. You learn one way, you learn another way. Nothing really comes to true mastership of the abilities, but in the end, it gets the job done. And that's all it really needs to be.
Then perhaps, before we do leave, maybe at some point you can show me some of your, not secret, let's put it that way, non-secret tricks about how you prepare your herbs and brew your potions.
Oh, gladly. I'd be happy to share that.
Because I'm still relatively new to it, still learning, so anything that I can learn to help make mine better is appreciated.
Yeah, I'd be glad to show you a few things. I know a trick or two.
That would be lovely. I'd appreciate it.
Of course. Okay.
And with that, Kaiser will just give her a sort of nod of acknowledgement and turn to head back in.
Sounds good. The two of you head back in. Alright. What are a lot of you talking about inside, or what you doing?
Currently, Cobalt's sipping his tea.
And Dream is still hanging out on the rafters, his tail probably hanging down, swishing to and fro,
Mm-hmm.
as cats do.
So just kind of taking it chill and relaxing.
Mm-hmm. Cobalt.
Hmm?
Do you mind if I pick your brain a little bit?
I think I kind of need my brain.
It's... My apologies. It's a figure of speech.
Oh. Okay.
It means that I would like to ask you questions and try and see what kind of knowledge you might be able to impart upon me.
Okay.
I would like to know, what do you know about vampires? Learn anything in that monastery of yours?
So he sort of like thinks they're the ones that are dead but not dead but drink blood from people, right?
They are indeed.
I know some. I know that even a dragon could become a vampire.
Is
That-
this some human equivalent to a spider?
But spiders are still living fauna.
A dead spider?
The dead shouldn't be getting back up and moving.
But possums do it all the time.
That's playing dead.
Possums, they fake it to get out of danger.
I think I understand now.
I want to
The
go out
reason-
on a limb here and guess that you probably let some go when you're hunting, thinking they were dead.
No.
Mhm.
I don't normally hunt possums. Especially after I understand that possums eat ticks. And ticks are nasty little things. I'd rather more of them dead than alive.
The topic is getting a little distant. The reason why I ask is because a couple of things have been bugging me regarding our good friend, the Warden. And I was hoping you might be able to confirm some suspicions that I might have had. For one of the guards, before we left, appeared to have been completely drained of blood. For another, the pale white hair and the red eyes, while not always a sign of vampirism, a lot of stories do indicate that those are common traits. And with his ability to teleport in and out, especially in the case where he took Amelia, it just made me quite curious as to the true nature of this warden. And I want to know what we're dealing with.
Well, I believe that in our books, there are other things that can sort of, how did Master say it? Phase through rips of reality?
An apt way to put it, I feel.
Things such as, like, the Fae have done such things as well.
That is true, I suppose. Some more research must be done.
Yes, it is much like coming to a fork in the road. You must choose which path you're going with proper knowledge, but remember you cannot eat the fork.
Hmm.
The warden, dyers, possible vampires. What did we get dragged into here?
Kobold kind of just shrugs his shoulders and sort of looks at everybody and is like, well, all I was doing was coming to this town to find out if anybody had heard if any holy symbols of Rindesh had been brought here, possibly stolen from a temple.
I had done what was asked of me by the little one, Emily, and returned Amelia to her rightful place.
You know, in regards to those relics you're looking for, that guard captain that we were with earlier might know something. If anything weird like that has been brought through.
Though I do not
I
know.
did, oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
I did ask some of the guards when I entered the city about that, and they said to go to the tavern to ask people, because the tavern's where people go to talk. And I did, and then I ate food, and then I got thrown into that jail because you have to pay for food.
I see. I know not of these relics that you're looking for, but I would like to know about them. Like, are they capable of doing anything, or what do they look like?
Cobalt kind of pulls out a page of one of his notebook and sort of crudely draws sort of like a dragon onto it, and then draws lines across it and goes, they're kind of like parts of a dragon, but it doesn't make a whole dragon.
Interesting.
Do the artifacts look like you then? Or like Kaiser?
No, see, our scripture shows that kobolds and dragonborn are sort of dragon-like, but we're not quite dragons, and therefore not quite like that. Kind of like how an elf is not quite a human.
Well, elves did come first, so it's more that humans are not quite elves, I would say.
My apologies. I didn't notice you come in.
Oh yes, just keeping to myself, enjoying the tea.
Well, now I feel quite rude.
But don't. I'm enjoying the conversation. It's not often we have a chance to have additional conversation, people visiting, much less have Maka participate in the conversation. Isn't that right?
From the silence, Cobalt looks down under the table. Maka, are you napping?
Quite comfortable when he chooses to be. He's comfortable with you. Otherwise he wouldn't be passing out like he is. That's a good sign. He needs to get out and understand a little bit more about himself. Certainly won't do that by staying here with an old woman.
We learned today as we passed through town that was apparently his first time doing that.
Mm-hmm. So, conversation continues for a little bit. You all have the ability to take a short rest at this point. If there's anything you want to do, use hit dice, regain spell slots for the Edgewalker.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a hit dice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll try and use one hit die.
Okay.
Okay, I'm good. Oh, more than I needed.
Almost to full.
Nice.
I've only got like one hit point left, so.
Is it a short rest?
Short rest.
Okay. Where's my... There it is.
Yay, spells are back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fully healed.
Nice. Okay.
And I guess while they were short resting, it'd be a good chance to make good on what I asked Amelia earlier. Pick her brain some about some of her herbalism techniques and potion making.
Yeah, absolutely. She goes through a couple of the standard procedures that you're used to. She goes over the standard healing potion with you. You've got that down. There's nothing much to worry about there. She goes over the individual processes of making them stronger to go into some of the higher bits. She mentions a couple herbs which are a little bit more rare and aren't in the area, but she hasn't seen them in a long time, so she can't really describe too much to you. But she does decide to try a little bit of something and is successful. She goes and she takes from the shelf something that is very clouded. It's almost impossible to see into the jar. And she pulls it down and she says, "This here will help make something unlike anything that's ever been seen before, if you understand what I mean." And then she tips it over and pours into her hand what appears to be nothing. Yet you can see the depression of the skin where something is clearly sitting, but there's nothing there. She raises her hand as if to hold something in it, which you can gather based on the way she's holding it to almost be spherical. And she says, "This here is the eye of a creature that is capable of phasing in and out of existence. Breaking this down and boiling it through the potions that we normally use with this root here and the root of the birch tree, will end up being able to set for a potion of invisibility. Takes a bit of time to make, and I might as well make it. I have this here. It'll take some time, but I can show you how we do this one, and you can keep that in your back pocket as well at some point."
That would be amazing. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So she goes through with you and shows you how to make a potion of invisibility. It does, when you set it up, it will require specific components, and I'll go over those components with you later. Because this is the very, very tippy-toe introduction of using monster parts for crafting. So yeah, there you go.
Got that jotted down. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. At the end of the short rest, a knock comes at the door.
Sorry, I apologize.
You good down there, Maka?
I'm not normally woken by knocks at the door.
It's okay. Maka's good puppy.
Amelia lets out a chuckle and then says, "Come on in, the door's open." The door opens up, and Mira has returned. She has a couple papers tucked underneath her arm, and gives a little bit of a bow as she walks in and sees everybody.
Welcome back, Captain.
Thank you. It's good to see you're all still here. Did you have a chance to see the town while I was out gathering the papers?
Unfortunately, not yet. We're still resting and nursing our tiredness and wounds from earlier.
That's fair. That's fair. I understand that entirely.
And I'm just lazy.
Oh, she looks up. Oh, hi up there. She looks back down. I managed to get some of the paperwork together and find some of the information that we have. I now have a bounty set up and will be spread through the area for Wanted, the head of Corin Asterfell. That was apparently his name. Placed on the paperwork when he purchased the location, and there is... You see her kind of grimace a little bit. There's a little bit of a problem that I'm not too terribly keen on, but I understand it's the law. We have to do what we do, and it's there for a reason. I asked the mayor what his thoughts were on seizing the property, taking back the old prison and reclaiming it. And looking through the books, and this is the problem, even if he did do all of those things, he technically didn't break the law. Which sets up for a glaring issue. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said you believed he was the one that transformed this other person into this monstrosity that you dealt with before, yes?
100%.
Yeah.
And pretty confident that he's likely behind the rat situation, but don't have any solid proof on that, so I obviously can't move forward on that. I also can't move forward on the other thing, but even if I did, because it was his property, what happens there is his business.
His business or not, though. His property.
But we were all brought there against our will and not by regular guards.
Kidnapping and lawful detention of civilians is surely against the law.
Which it should be. And in normal situations, we absolutely would try to do something about it, but it seems there's a little bit of a loophole in our current laws. So he would be able to get away with it, even though he shouldn't. Now, I can assure you, that is something that is now brought to light, and is something that we are going to be having a town meeting very, very soon to rectify this and make sure that everyone understands that it needs to be on the books so that something like that doesn't happen again. And it will be put into actual law so that we have the power to act. Without the laws, he technically has broken no laws, and we can't pursue him from here. She looks exceptionally frustrated and like struggling with herself to contain herself a bit. Like she's angry at the situation, and it's clear and plastered on her face.
I do not understand. You seem tense, and you say this word, law, repeatedly. Does it not please you?
Well, yeah, it doesn't please me. I mean, somebody coming along, taking innocent people and throwing them behind bars for crimes that aren't actual crimes, and then we can't do anything about it because our hands are tied because it's not written down in some book of rules. I'm not okay with that. It's my
Cobalt points at her hands, but your hands aren't tied.
It's a figure of speech, Cobalt.
She chuckles. I needed that. I was getting kind of heated about it. Thank you.
Understandable. It's a frustrating situation.
Well, a situation that I am not going to be standing by and doing nothing about. We're going to get this fixed. We're going to take a look at some of the loopholes that could be and try to remove them from the books, because This cannot happen again. It just cannot.
Well, I'm sure you'll do all you can to get it fixed and get it right, but was there anything else you were able to find out?
Unfortunately, nothing that I can divulge without... Well, it's confidential information because it's of a personal nature. The name I can gladly give because that's on a public document. But anything beyond what's available to the public, I am not at liberty to discuss further. I can say that we're looking to change the laws in the books to make it so that it's a little bit more solid, because that's a matter of public knowledge, and we're going to be discussing that very soon. But anything more than just what's available on the public documents, I cannot, unfortunately, give more information about. And in that regard, my hands are metaphorically tied.
This recalls in mind to me the game the children tend to play, they call hide and seek. That when one is found, then both go to look for the others, and then knowing each other's faces, and I assume smells, they eventually find all of them based on that alone. Can you not do the same? Perhaps send word and have other people look for this individual.
Well, that is something that we're trying to do. We are putting out the general call for him to be brought in for questioning, and based on all the evidence that we have currently, it's within the bounds of the law as well that if he should put up a fight, dead or alive is acceptable. So
Then I do not see why this holds such a tension with you. I mean, sure, you cannot chase an individual, but if they show up again, you know their face.
I do.
Their scent.
And it's tough because it needs to be in self-defense. So if he were to come of his own volition in for questioning and not answer any questions that incriminated him in the ways that would cause violations to the laws, which everything he's done according to what we already have on the books is fine, because of loopholes, there's nothing we can do. Should he walk into town, I can take no action against him unless he takes action against someone else first. And that is frustrating.
I am sorry, but I still don't understand. If someone is encroaching on your territory that you do not want on your territory, just simply chase them off. It is only natural.
The laws of man are weird.
But he also violated the laws of Rendesh and violated the natural order.
Yes, but the laws of natural order are not the ones that we have to
They're-
abide by in this town.
Those are unfortunately legal laws.
Well, regardless of all of this, I thank you once again.
Like for me to stand guard, and if I see this person, I will drive them off. This would be quite easy.
And I could not stop you, truthfully. But I also wouldn't want to put you in danger, so I cannot ask that of you.
If karma doesn't strike him, then we shall be the claw that does.
I know I need to look for him. He, as I mentioned earlier, might have some answers to questions I need answered.
Well, I've given as much information as I can. I hope this is helpful in some way. And I must be off. I have a shift this evening to look over some of the inner parts of the town, so I've got to go and get that ready. Is there anything else you need of me before I go?
I guess one more question then. Is it public information, anything about where he may have came from or claimed he hailed from?
Unfortunately, no. When it comes down to the necessary paperwork for purchasing land, especially here in the town, it's a matter of name, general description of the person, and as an optional thing, they can set up for their home territory and like where they hailed from, what they say they are from. But all we got was the Dwarven Empire, the Dwarven kingdoms here, and that's the entire eastern half of the continent, pretty much. Doesn't really narrow it down much.
So, Cobalt raises his hand.
Yeah, you could just ask the question.
I have two questions, actually.
Oh, all right.
One, did he own anywhere, any other house or something around here?
Nothing inside of Dialt, no. It was just that property.
And two, on a different matter, is there anywhere here that people sell things that aren't theirs?
That's an interesting question. I mean, if I knew of a place, I'd certainly like to find out, because thievery is against the law, and that is on the books, and that would be clear grounds to be able to shut that down. But I can't say I know of a place.
I said it to some of the other guards, but I'm looking for things that were taken from the Temple of Rindesh out in the mountains, the Flower Temple.
Huh. I don't think I've heard of a flower temple. Or Rindesh, isn't that the continent? That's where Mistport is. A temple to a whole continent? I'm honestly very confused.
He pulls out his medallion and shows the symbol with the dragon on it.
That's a very pretty medallion.
This is Rindesh, the dragon of flora and fauna.
She can't seem to wrap her head around it, and kind of repeats to herself, but Rindesh is a continent. Kind of in the styling of
he nods,
but feathers are
and
lighter than steel.
Cobalt nods and says, yes, the continent, the land was named after Rindesh.
Oh, we're going into history. I was never big on history. I didn't care too much for that. So, was a dragon? Is a temple to a dragon? That's kind of cool. Don't see many dragons nowadays.
Cobalt shrugs and goes, well, not many people ascend to be a dragon anymore.
She kind of shrugs, doesn't know what to make of that. Well, anything else I can help you find gentlemen with before I leave?
Fortunately, not anything that I think you'd actually be able to help with.
If we think of something, we shall send word. I assure you.
Sounds good. I'll be in town kind of patrolling tonight, so if you need to leave message with the receptionist at the barracks, go right ahead. Unless you run
I
into me
hope
directly.
I hope your shift is without conflict.
Me too. I think I've had enough excitement for the day, so I'd like a nice quiet night. So, hopefully we don't get anybody causing some trouble. I know every once in a while we get a complaint from the tavern. You know, old Nesbitt's down there and always seems to be drunk. Wakes up in the middle of the night and starts throwing a fit, so hopefully I don't have to deal with that. But with that, I bid you farewell for now, and I hope you enjoy your stay here in the town.
Thanks for your help, Captain.
And thank you once again. Truthfully, I wouldn't be standing here if not for you. All of you. She gives a little salute, walks out, and closes the door behind her. So, the floor is yours. Ideas are yours. What would you like to do?
Miss Amelia, got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
The tavern here in the town, does it mostly only draw in local folk, or do tourists visit frequently?
Oh, the lumberyard? Mostly the locals. We don't get too many people that are out of town except the traveling merchants that come in and stop in to stay. The rooms are normally taken up by those merchants, but for the most part, it's just the locals that pop in for a drink or a meal as they need and would like.
Not quite the rumor mill I was hoping for, but who knows?
Well, there's always postings of things that seem to be going around and advertisements for work. After all, Gil was doing a couple jobs that were posted up from inside the tavern. That tends to be the help wanted area, if you will.
Was Gil working on one of these particular jobs when he got caught?
I think he said he was. I think it was one that he was going to go on and had accepted and said he was going to do his best to solve. He didn't really mention much about it. He always seemed a little bit more concerned about his sister and how as soon as he got out, he'd be able to work with the warden and get her freed, and well, I guess we see where that actually would have ended up, huh?
He had a sister?
Based on what he had said, yeah.
Was he from around here, him and his sister, or were they from out of town?
Oh no, they were definitely from out of town. Not normal people that take residence here.
You said freed.
Yeah, he ended up talking about how once he got this whole mix-up cleared up, that he was going to get out and then pay whatever damages needed to be paid to the warden to free his sister as well. But, well, she obviously wasn't there in the prison.
That's a whole other can of worms if... Okay, there's a lot to process here, one thing at a time. I guess if we're gonna hopefully find out anything about, what was it, Corin? That his first name was?
Mm-hmm.
Corin Asterfell.
The best place would be to start at the best place of rumors. I feel like I need a good hard drink anyway. Anyone care to join me at the tavern?
Alcohol's not really my thing. I did have a question for you, though, Kaiser.
Sure thing.
Do you know if the Church of Kamada happens to have an archive or something nearby?
DM, I would presume maybe, but
give me a religion check.
Hang on, I need to. Apparently, my friggin' website.
Oh, yeah. Well, while we're opening that up,
$19 on that check.
okay. From what you know, from what you've learned, you are relatively confident that most of the repositories of information held for religious purposes are at the major temples, typically kept inside the major cities. Things such as Sanctuary's Keep or Doranil would hold places of knowledge housing. Out here, not so much.
Not so much at the temple I come from. Repositories, what you're looking for, are usually held in larger cities at the primary temples and churches. I mean, we've got a couple of smaller libraries, but I wouldn't hedge my bets that it would have what you're looking for.
Fair enough. Never hurts to ask.
I mean, if you ever find yourself over at Mount Epoch, you're more than free to ask.
I suppose I will. In the meantime, it seems that the best way of gathering information is probably doing the odd job around town.
DM, about what time of day is it?
We're talking mid to late afternoon. Sun is still up, but on its way down.
Well, I have another hour or so before I go out to my usual house.
And if I'm going to go to that tavern, I'm going to do it later in the evening where it's a bigger, busier crowd. You can tend to get more loose lips and more information.
Okay. So what's the plan, fellas?
Supposedly to the tavern, it sounds like.
Given a little bit of time, it sounded like, as well.
Yeah, as it gets later into the evening.
Okay. So as it gets later into the evening, then, it'll be about 2 to 3 hours as it'll start to get later into the evening. Maka will be up to go out and hunt for a little bit before that happens. If you want to, Maka, go ahead and roll a quick survival check for me, just because.
13.
Okay. It's enough to find a meal, enough for yourself. Nothing too crazy. Managed to stumble upon a couple rabbits. I want to say about 4. You managed to catch one hiding underneath Amelia's porch, actually. The little uprising. It's weird that it's there, but you got it. And it worked. You got a meal.
And that's why the rest of you just hear just this odd screech in the backyard. And I mean, I'm just in depending on if anybody waits, but Maka would eventually return and enough to even say through one of the open windows. Well, with Amelia not needing anything, and my hunt going rather successfully early in the evening, I have nothing left to do tonight.
And you all are still there. He was very quick on the hunt.
We're planning on heading to the tavern here soon, which means going into town. Would you be okay with that?
Are you officially inviting me?
If you want to come along, sure.
I look to Amelia silently.
She's just smiling silently back.
Just once, I suppose. I've never been to this place called a tavern.
It can be rowdy, it can be fun, it can be loud.
Will there be food?
Some of the best sometimes.
But we have to pay for it at the tavern.
Luckily, I've already eaten. But it would be nice to see what smells I can gather along the way or within.
Trust me, there'll be smells.
Sometimes the people at the tavern.
Not all of them
bad.
Not all of them pleasant.
Okay. So the four of you then set out to go into town, and you find your way back to where it was pointed out earlier, the lumberyard, the tavern for here in Dialect. From inside, you can hear it's definitely a bit more bustling. There's a lot of cheering, a lot of talking back and forth between people, meals definitely being shared and had, and in general, it seems bustling. Just about as bustling as you remember the first bits of the morning being. Entering in to the tavern, the door is open, and you can hear all of the sounds coming out from it. The smells, especially for you, Maka, are hitting you. You're immediately hit with the smell of carrots and different spices that you're not used to smelling or even gathering, and a distinct smell of, strangely enough, sheep. For some reason, you're picking up on sheep. That seems to be kind of flowing through and really hitting your nose and taking it in. Walking into the tavern, it's definitely busy. There's about a dozen people in this smaller building, all of them having a drink, bowls in front of them with some kind of a stew set up for a meal. Not everyone is eating. And in the back right corner, on top of a table, is a dwarven man. Gray hair, long, thick gray beard, big puffy red nose on his face, and he's just dancing on top of the table, beer mug in hand, and kicking back, having a good old time, being as loud as he possibly can. Behind the bar, there is another dwarven man. He's polishing a cup, rag inside of a glass, and has a couple different things on tap behind him, with a door as well leading into what you can piece together is probably the kitchen, because that's where the smells are truly coming from. the odd thing, and Maka, are you going inside with everybody?
Yes.
As soon as the three of you walk in, followed by Maka, everyone's like, hey, hey, cheer, and then they see Maka, and the music stops. The bard looks over and gets a glance, and the room goes quiet momentarily as they all look over and see Maka, this big wolf, walking into the tavern. The room is eerily quiet for a moment, before the drunkard who's dancing on top of the table goes, "It's a big old doggo he is! Let's have a party with the dog!" And the music kicks back in and everyone cheers. Aye, everyone's going to town. And then they go back to their merry way and think nothing of it. The tavern is yours.
Everybody. It's like they haven't seen a dog before. That's weird.
I am quite different from a normal dog, as you've probably noticed. I do not understand the gesturing, though. This wild flapping movement they all seem to be doing. Is this... It reminds me of birds and their mating dances. Are these mating dances for humans?
Yes.
Usually.
Usually.
It's a form of entertainment known as dancing. Some people are good at it. Some, well, the rest is what you see here.
How does one judge whether one is good at it?
Cobalt looks over at him. If they can dance in the rhythm of the music, then they're dancing good. If the dancing isn't in rhythm of the music, then it's bad dancing.
Speaking of, this drunkard on the table is so completely out of rhythm.
Cobalt's gonna actually take a straight walk to the barkeep behind the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wants to pay for what he didn't get to pay for last time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kaiser is going to follow up to approach the barkeep as well.
Okay. Walking up to the bar, the dwarven man behind the counter, he looks over, and let me give you a little bit here. Is a male dwarf. He's got red curly hair, brown eyes, and a big old plump nose as well, almost like a potato on his face if you were not paying close enough attention to realize that's a nose. But he's there behind the counter, polishing, and then he turns his attention back over and sees you first, Kaiser, just because you're taller. He goes, you look familiar. I think I've seen... Nah, you're too tall. Never mind. That's fine. Hello, and... he looks down, and there sees you, Cobalt. You're the one who came in here and had all of that food set up, and you couldn't pay for it. Ugh. I should have
I didn't know before. Cobalt's already holding up a coin.
What kind of coin you holding up?
He's holding up a silver piece because that's what the bill was.
Huh. So you came to pay your share, then?
Yes. I didn't know. In the mess hall, you just go get food. I didn't know that this wasn't just a mess hall.
Huh. All right. He goes and he quickly snatches the silver coin from you. It's all forgiven. You're perfectly fine. You're perfectly welcome. Welcome to the lumberyard. It's so fantastic to have you boys here. I assume, and he points first at Kaiser, then down to Cobalt. I assume you set your son straight then, yeah?
He's son.
So, I'm so sorry. I just, I assumed, and when you assume things, it makes an ass out of mostly just me. What can I get for you tonight, fellas?
It's alright. It's not the first time in the past few days it's happened. However, a pint of your strongest stuff would be good.
Ah, well, there's one little problem with that. We've only got one. If you want the strongest stuff, I'll set you up with a proper mug of ale. That's what we've got. Just a standard down here dwarven ale. That's the best we can do. But you know what? For you, kind of looks you up and down a little bit. You might enjoy it. It might be pretty strong enough for you. I'll set you up with that.
As long as it's strong, that's all I care about right now.
I can do that for you. And how about for the lad?
Cobalt pulls out another silver piece, goes, could I get the same food again?
Certainly. We can set you up for that. In fact, because you were so kind to come back and pay, I'll do something a little bit more special for you. How's that sound?
Will it taste good?
It will taste fantastic. I guarantee it.
Actually, while
Okay.
I'm thinking about it, hook me up with some of the food that he's having too. It sounds like it's delicious.
Certainly. For him, I've got the silver to set you up, and you're looking for that. It'll be 12 copper pieces.
Guys will reach into his pouch and produce that copper.
Okay. I'll go ahead and I'll set this up. Just do your best to find a table wherever you can, and we'll have it out momentarily for you. Thank you, boys. Turns around and turns to shout into the kitchen. Hey, Lem! We got another order! Get out the mutton! Thank you, fellas. We'll see you soon.
Thank you much, barkeep.
I don't think Kaiser realizes how much food Cobalt just ordered.
At this point, Kaiser's hungry enough for some meat. He probably don't care.
So, all right. Dream, what are you doing?
I am procuring us a table.
Okay. Give a quick investigation check for me.
Very well. Well,
Okay. It takes a moment. You see people sitting, at most of the tables, but then one person seems to get up and move and disappear into the crowd, leaving the table wide open.
okay. I'll sit there.
Okay. It's pretty easy to spot you. Kaiser, Cobalt, the two of you are able to go join, and I assume Maka is sticking pretty close as well.
Yes.
So,
I've never been here, and I am taking in everything as much as possible.
mhm. The sounds are almost overwhelming by themselves alone for you. The smells
I figured
are
there is very much of
absolutely-
a overwhelming, the sensory kind of deal going on here.
Oh yes, certainly not something you have ever experienced before. This is quite the experience, and it's a lot. So much so that I want you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh boy.
Six.
Oh dear.
Okay. I'll let you know when it happens.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna let Cobalt go back before, but before I follow, I'm gonna hang back for a second, and I'm gonna address the barkeep one more time.
Oi?
I was wondering, does the name Corin Astrafel ring a bell?
Astrafel.
Kaiser will produce 5 silver. Maybe this will help.
No, coins don't tend to help my memory, if I'm being completely honest with you. I thank you for the generous tip, however. Truth be told, wasn't he that lad that came in here and he ended up purchasing the old prison, if I remember hearing correctly?
That's the info I've heard. I was wondering if there was anything else.
Well, the last thing I remember hearing is he ended up saying something one night during a meal. He was sitting by himself talking and just kind of thought he wasn't being heard or something. I'm not sure what it was, but I heard one weird thing come out of his mouth, and that was... I think he said after it. I'm not 100% sure why he would have said it. He didn't get up and move or anything like that. I didn't pay no mind to it. I just let him have his food. I've heard stranger things from old Nesbit over there, and he's up there on the table spouting all kinds of nonsense.
Well, my good man, thanks for your help.
Of course. And thank you for the tip. Haha. Side note, if
Problem.
you want another drink for anything, tonight, for that, you can have whatever you like on the tips. It's all yours.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And then I would follow to join Cobalt and the other.
Okay. You sit down at the table. It takes just about a moment, but a bowl of stewed mutton and dried carrot is brought out to you, Kaiser. And what ends up coming out for Kobold is 3 different bowls all set up. He ends up having a little bit of cut mutton in one of the bowls on the side, not properly stewed or anything, a vegetable stew on the side, some kind of soup, you're not sure what it is, just generally referred to as pottage, which is your typical brown stew of whatever you can find that you throw into it. And both of you are presented with mugs of Dwarven Ale. For this little kobold, he's got 3 complete dishes in front of him. One of them should be enough to fill any grown man, and he's got plenty.
Kaiser just looks at, well, I can see why you were arrested for not paying now.
Well, when I walked in here, they said I could order whatever I wanted.
It's a very different smell.
The one with the chopped mutton on it, I'm
Mhm.
going to actually sort of pick up the bowl and put it down on the ground for Maka.
What? Why?
Give it a try. See what you think.
Oh, it's for me.
Yeah. It's an offering to you.
I'll try a little bit of mutton.
Okay. How does it taste? You tell us. Because this is roasted mutton.
Dear God. The flavor is this texture is so much more soft. You eat like this daily.
Not always.
This is... And then Maka just goes full in. Like, I go full in, like, just absolutely gobbling it, not even, like, doing the normal dog thing is like, are you even tasting it? Kind of scarfing it down.
Kaiser's got kind of a panic look in his eyes, and he's like, Maka, slow down a little. Take it in. Enjoy it. Let yourself breathe, man.
You were saving that one up, huh?
It is absolutely delicious.
You know, I don't know if...
Compared, obviously, the rabbit I had earlier was... I am used to that, but this method of which you have prepared this is quite different and delicious.
Cobalt's gonna look over at Dream and say, do you want one of the other bowls?
Dream, you there?
Oh, sorry. I've been lost in thought. I'll take. Sure. Dream is more focused on the trying to decipher who in the crowd is Nesbit, since they're a regular here.
So
Yeah, and Kaiser would lean on a little bit more to make sure that he can be heard over the crowd to Monka. And by the way, what Cobalt offering that to you is what's called a friendly gesture.
Ah, so it is just politely. I do not understand. Do packmates not? I am confused, and I apologize.
When you have friends, sometimes you offer them gifts. Sometimes it can be food, like what Cobalt offered to you. Other times it can be material goods that might help them.
Is it not just to help me keep my strength up, like I did when I offered the rabbit?
It can be for that sometimes, yes. Other times it's just a gesture of goodwill.
I see. Well, Cobalt, thank you. That
That's no
was
problem.
very delicious.
we're friends. We take care of each other.
He says this. Kaiser's like, I don't know if... I hope this is safe enough for dogs, but Maka, I want you to give this a try. And he's going to set the mug of ale down for Maka.
It smells.
It doesn't...
smells like it is rotten.
Let it be
Yeah.
known, stream, as a disclaimer, we do not condone the giving of alcohol to your canine friends, for it can seriously cause them troubles. So, disclaimer, do not give alcohol to your dog. Thank you.
Kaiser's only risking it in this case because of the type of dog, quote unquote, that Maka is. He doesn't know if he functions like a normal one, so he's risking it.
I take a small lick of it. You see, like, my lips pull back, and the dog teeth. That is putrid. It is rotten. Why would you offer me rotten water? Is this also considered goodwill?
In some circles, yes.
Cobalt sort of goes to sort of put a hand on Maka, be like, not everything tastes good to everyone.
Oh, trust me, a lot of the times it tastes absolutely rancid, but sometimes that's what makes it better.
I do not understand why you would offer yourself to such displeasure on a regular basis.
It sometimes makes people forget things, so sometimes they drink it to forget their day.
Or it just helps them feel good and makes them cut loose, like you see the gentleman flailing on the table, as you put it.
Ah, so it is something that you drink to initiate the mating dance.
Yes.
Sure, let's go with that.
Interesting. It is not for me. I do not wish to perform any mating dances, and I am not courting any humans.
From behind the lot of you, you hear a small commotion. Squealing of an animal as it's being carried into the tavern. It draws your attention, and it is noticeably a pig. You are able to turn around and take a look if you wish. The pig is in a dress with lipstick on and a bow fastened on top of its head. It is squirming, it is not happy to be there, and the person the dwarven man carrying it looks drunk as well. He's not all in his right mind. And he looks over and shouts over to the man who's been dancing on the table. And he goes, "Hey, old Nesbit, looky here. I've got your wife." And then under his breath he goes, "Look at me, I'm Mrs. Nesbit." And then puts the pig down, lets himself step away, and the pig squeals and runs back out the door. Nesbit, dancing on the table, just goes, "Oh, that's my wife! After it!" And then jumps down off the table and runs out. A couple people following him into the night, laughing and hawing the entire way.
Ha! One of them stepped on my tail.
As I told you earlier, it gets rowdy.
As Cobalt is slurping the soup with the vegetables in it, he's going to sort of tug on Dream's sleeve and be like, "I think you found Nesbit."
Indeed, so it would appear.
Well, right now, found is a relative term because he's gone into the night.
Kaiser, give me an intelligence check, please.
Intelligence, you said?
Yes, sir.
God damn it, I keep doing that. I keep scrolling while I'm holding down a button and it keeps backing out of the friggin' Not very high. That's a whopping 4.
Okay. Something does stand out to you, but you're not 100% sure why. It clicks because the bartender had just mentioned it in the conversation that you had, where you asked if there was any additional information, and he mentioned some words that Astrofel had said while he was here, and it sounded like you just heard those words again, but not quite. And then that piques something else in your mind, but you can't quite place it. But you've got allies who might be able to.
Yeah, Kaiser's sort of tapping on the table at this point, making a clicking sound. The tips of his claws. After it. The bartender mentioned he overheard the other night. Our warden say the words after it himself. Think there's anything to that and what we just saw?
Excuse me,
try.
say the word again.
After it. He said that,
After it.
yes. He said the warden was in here and kept repeating that over and over.
Maka, as you heard Nesbit run out, in his slurred speech, you noticed that he threw it together, and it sounded more like afferent.
Do you mean Afrit? There was Tale of a Town. I remember an old friend once mentioned a town called Afrit.
You know, we might be onto something. Maybe the bartender misheard. Then that's brilliant, actually.
Any of you are able to go ahead and give me a check. You can give me a survival, a history, or an intelligence check, your choice.
$18 on survival.
Okay.
11 on history.
18 on history.
Okay.
And a 17 on survival.
Okay. Because it's a tie for the top, that's how I'm going to go for this. And because it's two separate on that one. Kaiser, it clicks for you. Afarit is a town to the north, closer to the mountains that bisect the dwarven kingdoms. Maka, you know that the town is to the north. That's the direction you generally came from, and your survival skills are definitely able to guide you back in that direction for understanding what direction it's in.
Ah, yes, I remember the town. My friend went east at the time, but we were in the mountains. Or the mountains were close by with the forest. And he distinctly mentioned he was going to Afarit, a town of which he was in for a few short days. I did not see him again after that. But yes, he mentioned it. It is in the north, from here.
Yeah, it's a town that's close to the mountains. So I wonder if he has something going on there as well, or... Either way, I think we have our next lead on this warden.
We might want to pursue Mr. Nesbitt.
If you would like help doing that, I cannot mistake the smell of a pig.
I don't think that the pig was actually his wife.
Well, no, but I think what he's hinting at here is following the pig will find Nesbitt, since he was chasing it.
Whether it is his wife or not, what is a wife?
It's basically the human equivalent of a soulmate.
Oh, a mate. Oh.
A
They
mate
call
that
a
you
mate a
don't mate
wife.
With just that mate. You don't mate with others.
I think I
Yes.
understand. Very well. Would you like for me to track the pig?
Please. If you don't mind, that is.
I will do my best, and I will get up and start going out the door, provided that it's easy enough and still open.
It is, yeah. I am very curious as to where this is going, but I also know we're a little limited on time, so we're going to try to push through this to see where this is going.
As a quick aside, as he's doing that and turns to leave, guys are just going to look down at the mug that Maka barely touched, grab it up, look at it for a sec, shrug, and then down the rest of it.
Sounds good.
The one that Kobold has is still sitting there on the table, too.
Okay.
You not going to drink that, kiddo?
I shouldn't drink it.
It'll put some hair on your chest. Give it a swig.
By Rindesh, I shouldn't drink it. And Kobold gets down and starts following Maka out the door.
Well, waste not, want not, and he'll grab it and down that one too.
That's quick succession. 2 practically full mugs of mail. Mugs of mail. I'm okay. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
You're the one that sounds drunk over here.
Apparently, yeah. I need the con saving throw. Though, let's be honest, mugs of mail, I'm in.
19.
19. Okay. It hits you, but you're okay.
Kaiser's had worse.
You travel out into the cool night air. Maka, searching for the pig. Perception advantage because you're using the snoot. Okay. You're not able to pick up on the pig, but what you are able to pick up on is the smell of alcohol.
And I go right back into the
Not that direction. You are picking it up out in the night air, enough that you would be able to track it.
Okay. This way. And crisscrossing through the streets, I'm following through the alleyways, I assume, because the pig could have gone in multiple directions.
Mm-hmm. And sure enough, in between houses, alleyways, you smell it come down an alleyway, then back up the same alleyway, like it somehow managed to go to the end and turn right back around and come up there. You get closer and closer as you're moving. Give me another perception check with advantage. And everybody's still grouped together, I assume, yes?
It's a natural 20 and there
Yeah.
were a 24.
Okay. Now you smell the pig. And the pig is absolutely nearby. In fact, so close nearby that you can pinpoint 2 alleys up and to your left. It's down an alleyway. With
Okay,
that
and
natural
I-
20 as well, I will say. You pick up the scent of that alcohol as well, and a little bit of urine.
I was hoping that you would say more of the smell of the makeup, but sure, we'll go with urine.
Yeah, sorry.
I think Nesbit.
Anyway, I just take off in that direction. You know, hopefully everyone's
I
following me.
follow without a problem.
Yeah. Follow your nose.
Right? Arriving at the scene, you take a look down the alleyway, and what you see is old Nesbit asleep on top of a pig who is just trapped now underneath this dwarven man. And based on your smell and what little sight you have, he's gone and soiled himself. The pig is squealing, trying to get free, but just can't, and is kind of stuck.
I'm gonna pull him off of it and let the pig go.
Okay.
Pig does not deserve this.
Yeah, going down, the pig, squeals, runs off, dashes his way through. I want Kaiser and Dream to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, God. He would make it dexterity. Yeah, nope, 9.
Aw. And I see a 20. Nice. The DC was only 10. The pig clips you as it goes by, and kind of spins you a little bit, knocks you for a second. No damage or nothing. It just clips you as it's going by.
That alcohol hasn't fully settled. Yep. Oh, God. Ugh.
Old
I'm
Nesbit is.
I'm good.
He's passed out, now on his back as you've, pulled him off of the pig, and he's sitting there just calling out, "That's my wife. She's prettiest thing I've ever seen."
I'm
just
gonna
start poking it with my quarterstaff.
I was going to do maybe the sort of nice thing. I'm going to get out my water skin, pour a little water on my hand, and splash him in the face with it.
Okay, you take the water, splash him in the face. Hey, you're not my wife. Why am I down here? Where'd she go?
That was
Kobold's
a
still poking
pig
it with his
you were chasing.
Oh, they done tricked me again. Oh, this is gonna suck in the morning. I mean, honestly, I probably would have taken the pig over the wife. He's seems a little sick, a little bit to himself.
Easy, simmer it down a little bit. Let it settle.
So what would you like to accomplish with this interaction?
I was about to say, now that we've got him awake, Kaiser just sort of looks up to Dream, since Dream was the one seeking him. Like he's all yours.
What you got for us, Bengali?
Sorry, I didn't realize I muted myself.
Oh.
So, Mr. Nesbitt, I hear that you've been saying things that other people have been considering crazy.
Yeah, they all say I'm crazy. But I tell you, there's demons in the woods. People be summoning these crazy things from out of nowhere, and rats as big as you can you could see. They're as big as my wife. It's huge. They're terrible. And I heard out in the wilderness up in the north, outside of the town. What was that town called?
Afrit?
Afrit, that's the one. Yeah, I've heard that there's some horrible howling going on out in the woods. Don't sound like nothing natural is what they say. I don't know what's going on, but I hear it, and no one believes me. No one believes me. I mean, it's just stuff I've heard. I mean, I can't really put any stock in it if I haven't seen it myself, but I believe them. There's crazy things in this world here. Tethra's got a lot going on, let me tell you.
Oh, I believe you. I believe you.
Crazier than me chasing a pig, but nobody wants to believe it. They just set it up, so yeah, hey, y'all got any booze on you? I could use a hit right now if you could. You got anything? I just
Cobalt goes through his bag and tosses a bar of soap at him and goes, "You need this more."
Thank you. I appreciate that. He takes the bar of soap, bites a chunk out of it, and chews.
It's fine.
It's got a strange flavor.
Cobalt looks up at Dream and goes, "He needs to be cleaned inside and out."
Agreed, but that is a task for someone with better constitution. I think I've got the information that I wanted from him.
Kaiser will just sort of lean in, pat Nesbitt on the shoulder. That was a bar of soap you just bit into.
Oh, that's the flavor. Okay. Haven't had that in a long time. Missed it. Just kind of cuddles up against the bar of soap now, just like rubbing it on his face gently. He's so toasted and gone.
I was about to say, Kaiser looks up at Dream again.
Howls, do you just mean wolves, like myself?
Huh? He stops and he takes a look at the bar of soap, looks back at Maka, then looks at Cobalt. What you put in this soap?
That was actually the booze that you drank earlier.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. And I've seen crazier things. Well, Mr. Dog, I'm telling you, it was not one of your kind of howling. It was too deep, too guttural. I've heard wolves howling, and that's fine. I've heard wolves howling out around here. So trying to keep you doggos safe inside the town best we can, away from those nasty wolves. They do their thing, but no,
nasty, sure.
Yeah, they hunt and they kill without any regret. Anyway, it certainly wasn't no wolf howl or nothing. It was too deep. It was much more bassy kind of to it, super low in pitch, as they say. Bards talking about it like that, telling tales in the tavern, and that's what I heard.
Okay.
Little bubble pops out from his mouth as he hiccups.
Well, thank you, Mr. Nesbitt. You've been very helpful.
I thank you. I almost slept with a pig. So you've been helpful too. Thank you. You kind ladies you are. It's so nice of y'all. And it just kind of falls over and passes out again.
He'll be fine.
All right.
So, you done here now then, Dream?
Yes, I think I've got what he can provide. I was hoping for more, but he's not really in the state to give more, is he?
I don't think
I'm
he should
half
give me
surprised that he
anybody.
didn't mention his lumbago.
All right. So, for the rest of the night, you four can bed down. You can go back to Amelia and bunk up, camp out, whatever you would like to do.
Yeah, I was about to say, Kaiser would actually address Maka. Do you think Miss Amelia would be okay putting us up for at least one more night?
As long as there is room, it is up to her. But I would request that you not take her bed. She is an old lady, after all. She
I
needs
wouldn't
the
dream
extra
of that.
Pardon?
I was.
It's okay.
That was a joke.
It's on the
I
floor.
understand you weren't talking about me.
You were saying Cobalt?
It's okay. Cobalt will just sleep on the floor. I just need to wash up before we do go to sleep, though.
All right. So with that, the four of you end up doing whatever else you'd like for the night. If you wanted to go back and mess with some meals a little bit more, some more drinks, totally fine. But otherwise, by the end of the night, you find yourself back at Amelia's abode. She says there's no problem with you staying the night, tells you to make yourselves comfortable, and you are all able to lay down and get a long rest. And with the end of that long rest, we also end tonight's session.
Yay.
So there we go.
Awesome.
Session 3 and episode 3 down. Thank you, everybody. It was fantastic. And something that we're going to be doing here in just a moment, and will be uploaded to YouTube as a separate video. All of you, level up. Level 4.
Yay!
Woo!
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
There's been a lot of role-playing. There's been some serious combat going on there. And there we go. So congrats on level 4, everybody. Then thank you, everybody, for coming out and spending your night with us. It is now time for us to close up shop and head on back. We will be back in 2 weeks' time. The day that we are going to be streaming next for the game is the 4th of March. So make sure to tune back in on March 4th to go ahead and get the next episode. And 1 week from today, on the 25th, will be the episode live uploaded on YouTube, which, if you're watching now, thank you. Thank you for checking us out on YouTube as well. That does it from me for tonight, everybody. That does it for the cast as well. Thank you for coming out. Love y'all. See you soon.
Bye,
Have
everybody.
a good night.
Good night.
So we'll put a pin and pop that bubble.